we go with the lean green ninja team, born to see cool things that were ninja things. So extreme like a sewer life laser beam, can't stop with the shell shock ninja team. Can't stop these radical dudes, secret little ooze that were chosen to emerge from the shadows to make their move. The good guys win and the bad guys lose. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we are taking a look at another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series review. Today I have recently watched the new Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, which is a 12-episode quote-unquote, air quotation marks, event on Paramount Plus. They have been marketing this thing as an event on Amazon for a while now. It is on Amazon Prime and also Paramount Plus. It is an event type thing, but I watched it all and it was alright. I know I did say I would be watching Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next. That's a pipe dream that's long gone. I realize there's like 102 episodes of that, and that's commitment. I'm gonna be honest, that is commitment, and I just don't have that level of commitment in me right now. A 12-episode series will suit me fine. So without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. So Rise, or the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, has a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, a 4.6 out of 5 on Amazon, and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is fucking wild to me that this is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Turtles, as teenagers, deal with their new life as heroes while also dealing with the presence of going to high school in New York City. You can watch this on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and Paramount Plus. And that description is a fucking lie, because the first 4 episodes are a true adventure, but it's an adventure that Leonardo writ. It is an adventure that Leonardo is turning into a comic book, which confuses the fuck out of you, because it doesn't explain that to you. You get that when you towards the end, because the first 5 episodes, I think, because there's 12 episodes, so I think it's like the first 6, it's split into 2 halves, right? So the first 4 episodes, first one follows Leo fighting his robot with the help of April. They're heading to a party and they get stopped by robots and they get split up. Leo fights his robot and defeats it with the help of April. Episode 2 follows Michelangelo, who's in a zoo helping this guy called Rod, who wants to be a mutant, and he accidentally creates Pigeon Pete instead because he doesn't want to turn this human into a mutant. He also defeats his robot in the process. Episode 3 is Raphael defeating a robot. He was captured by the Purple Dragons, and they were interrogating him and fighting him, and he had to learn to basically, not use his fists and use his words whilst fighting this robot. He also defeated his robot. Episode 4 follows Donatello, who is also getting attacked by a robot, and he overcomes it with the power of technology, as per usual. Episode 5 goes off the villain who created these robots and is like a MCU level threat with the fact that Iron Man created these guys, because the reason she's a villain is because when Superfly attacked the city, the Turtles were there and didn't stop him soon enough, so he destroyed all of her life's work, and 2 months after the events of the movie, she managed to create 4 new robots. So that's it. That's the plot of the first 5 episodes. Then episode 6, we have the big climax, the big fight where they all fight the 4 robots, and Donatello makes Metalhead, and they defeat her in their new sort of samurai sort of scrap metal armor suits that they make for themselves, and the evil lady turns good. The next 6 episodes are Splinter's story, which Donatello and April are working on for a school project, and Raphael changes up a little bit. So this is Raphael's story, alright? But the way this season's laid out is like these things are stories, they don't actually happen. But in Raphael's story, they bring reference to Pigeon Pete, who is created in the first story. So if that was a comic book that Leonardo created and wasn't actual factual, then Pigeon Pete should not be in this story either. But he is. Alas, Pigeon Pete is in this story. So, this story must have also happened because it is a recount of what Splinter is saying, but done from Raphael's point of view. Okay? So, Again, very confusing, very confusing. So the next 6 episodes follow a storm happening in New York City, and Raphael goes to stop people drilling in the sewers, because they chose the sewers to live, because no one ever goes down there, and if they drill through this wall, the entire sewers are going to come down. And it's these sea urchins, these little blobby guys, like the Coral Crew are here, and they're sort of talking in TV adverts, trying to get this guy to drill through this wall and holding him hostage. Raphael, Ray Fillet, and Scumbug all manage to, stop this guy, stop him, and, it puts the bigger 3 at threat, and brings in 3 new villains. So Genghis Frog and Michelangelo go to the store to restock supplies, and they get caught in a fight with Lee, which is an eel, and they also get caught in a fight with the purple dragons. Mikey comes out on top and defeats the eel. The eel then runs away. We then have Donatello getting trapped underground with crocodiles and meeting up with Raphael and Leatherhead and the bat creature, I forget the name, after fighting crocodiles and getting trapped in the sewers trying to fix the Wi-Fi. We then have Leonardo and Pigeon Pete going to the surface and fighting the seahorse guy, trying to stop him from flooding the city at the waterworks. And then episode 12 is them fighting all together and basically putting it right and stopping them from flooding the city and returning the pearl and, stopping them from being villains. Right, so the way this series is animated is also really fucking odd, because the animation changes when Leonardo is talking, and then it changes to when Donatello is talking, and Michelangelo and Raphael. Every time that they're telling a story or recounting a tale, it definitely shows that, their point of view from their animation style. It shows how they're talking, in their animation style, how their personalities are and how they recount the events. Because Leonardo's sort of story is, on lined paper and looks pretty detailed. Michelangelo's is very basic sketches. Raphael's is very detailed and very dark and brooding, and then Donatello's is very sort of 8-bit and pixelated. So again, when everyone is telling their sides of the stories, their personalities, it is very detailed, and you get their point of view and their story from it, which I quite like. I very much do like this sort of design here. I do feel like they cheaped out with this series, though, and didn't make it the best it could be, because they don't get Jackie Chan back to voice Splinter. Ray Fillet is made really dumb in this one. They dumbed down Ray Fillet. I think he was a lot smarter in the movie, because all he says is, Ray Fillet, in this one. He was able to talk without saying Fillet, or Ray, in the first one, but they turned him into a Groot-esque character, where he just goes, Yay Fillet, Ray Fillet, or Yay Fillet, or No Fillet. He says a word, and then he says Fillet after it. And the word has to, rhyme with Ray, Yay, Hey, Bay. It's one of those type situations, and I feel like they dumbed him down so much. It didn't feel like the same character from the movie. Wingnut and Leatherhead felt like the same characters from the movie. They got the voice actors to come back and play them. Bebop and Rocksteady were nowhere in sight, but they were referenced. And it does show us a little bit about how they all live together in the sewers. It also gave us a little bit of more information of what Superfly did and the extra damages that Superfly caused with his plan, the long-term effects Superfly caused with his plan, and just gave us a little bit more world building. The animation for these did feel like a comic book sketch. It did feel like doodles and quick sketches that you would find in a sort of school book, or that you do in the column of your school book, or a sketchbook. They weren't that detailed, and it did follow very similar art styles to the movie, as you can see a couple of extra pen marks here and there. Nothing's really straight. It's very doodly. And I do like that, how they tried to replicate that, but it is feeling very much like a storyboard. This feels like the storyboard level animation. It doesn't feel finished. This looks like the storyboard. This looks like what they drew for the movie, the storyboard for the movie. This looks like 3 levels down from the movie, and it was quite jarring, I am going to be honest, watching this, comparing it to the movie and it being in the same sort of universe as the movie. It's set in the same world, the same timeline, it's canon to that movie, and just seeing the animation switch is a little jarring, and I still like the animation, I still think it's really good, and it is still a beautiful animated thing, but I do feel like this series could have done from being an 8-episode series, maybe, and, you know, from there, we could have done, you know, something better. We could have got, like, the animation from the movie, you know? I feel like if we, like, halved the episodes and made it, like, 4 each instead of 6 each, you know, we could have, like, cut down on some of the story, because some of it was kind of unnecessary and kind of felt like filler, and it dragged out quite a bit. It did introduce us to the Purple Dragons, though, which I do quite like, because the Purple Dragons are a really nice street-level gang, which aren't, like, the level of the Foot, but aren't as, like, as advanced as the Mutants. It kind of felt more street-level and more grounded compared to some of the other mutants that they were fighting, so it is nice that we do get to see those a little bit in this world, and they're being introduced slowly but surely, so maybe we'll see them again in Mutant Mayhem 2 whenever that does drop. But, yeah, I do feel like it could have benefited from being the same animation style as the movie, but other than that, I don't really have any other complaints with it, except that the story was a little confusing to follow, and it just could have been better. I feel like the stories could have been a little bit more focused, and I am happy that every turtle did get, like, an episode to shine on their own, but it did leave it where we didn't get a whole lot of them working together. We had 2 episodes of them working together as, like, a team, so it is, like, an 8 out of 10.